Hey guys, I'm starting today's video at the tail end of last night. It is almost midnight and I'm putting the garbage out because our account's now active and I can get rid of this huge pile because we missed today. But it is freaking cold and it's going to be even colder Thursday night or tonight as you're watching this. So if it's just me, I don't mind sucking it up, putting on a coat, being a little cold, maybe shivering to do a video. No big deal. But I'm having a guest over and it's kind of rude to make somebody do that. And if I'm going to make this any kind of regular thing, it's probably not going to be the last time I'm going to have a guest over when it's cold. So I'm looking into some heating. Right up my back. Some heating options. Now I've looked around and those patio heaters are pretty darn expensive. I've seen some really cool ones though. Oh man, I saw some down in St. Pete about a month ago. And they were like huge walls of fire. That's like the new thing. Normally they're kind of like an umbrella radiating the heat, but these were like just a straight swirling flame. They were like 8 feet tall. Really cool, but insanely expensive. Anyway, Walmart online says that they have some of those, really tall patio propane heaters. So I'm going to go check them out, see what they have in my store here. I'm not going to have much of a chance at all to get out tomorrow because the roofer's coming probably early morning. And then I've got a client over early afternoon, and then I got the live session early in the evening. So I can't go anywhere while the roofer's here, and obviously I have to be here for the client, so I got to do this now. So anyway, I'm going to finish hauling out the wet trash and head on over to Walmart, and hopefully they've got something fairly reasonable. I'll get some use out of it. There are more than enough nights where I've wished I had one out there, let me tell you. All right, I'm here at Wally World, so let's go in and check out what they've got. And before I do that, I want to give you guys a couple updates. One on the energy packet that I made yesterday. And this is for those of you that might not have seen my reply to Sean, who had sent it in to me. I would equate it with a big cup of, there goes my light again, with a big cup of coffee or a single Livewire Energy Chew. It was a subtle ramping up kind of energy. It wasn't anything like a Monster. You didn't have a rush. You didn't have an immediacy or anything like that. And it lasted, I'd say, 4 or 5 hours until I had noticed that I could use a little something else. And I made my first cup of coffee at that point for the whole day. So definitely not a replacement for a Monster or any other of those types of energy drinks, because it didn't at all have that big level of energy, certainly at the beginning or even for an hour or two afterwards. It was much more even keel, kind of like the 5-hour energy drink or whatever shot they call that. That's pretty subtle too. You don't have any kind of rush. Second update is on the brakes. Absolutely freaking loving them. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. A lot more total stopping power. I did a bit of a braking period, some nice easy brakes. I made a couple trips out to the stores. I'm here at Walmart and just did one on the road, and it's a little wet out, and the anti-locks did kick in, and that was pretty hard to do with the stock ones. But I haven't tested it the same way I did with a full emergency stop on dry roads yet, but I don't really want to do that on purpose. Anyway, they engage a lot sooner than the old ones did. The old ones were kind of progressive. You had a very subtle engagement when you first touched the pedal, and they would grab okay as you got into it. These are very linear. I can feel them engaging pretty much as soon as I touch the pedal, and it's just perfect engagement as the pedal goes down to the feel and the feedback they give, and a lot more overall force. No vibration left in the steering wheel. I thought I had something wrong with one of my tires. Turns out it was the brakes. There was a little pulsation. There's a little bit of warpage going with at least one of the stock rotors, but I always had just a little bit of vibration in the steering wheel. It is smooth as butter, just like absolutely brand new now. So I'm really happy about that because the ride is just so comfy. So big thumbs up there to that brake kit. Don't hesitate if you need to do one. Don't get ripped off. You saw how easy it was if you watched the video. You're going to spend a little bit of money the first time in tools, but you're still going to save money if you've got any kind of an expensive job to do. I mean, the basic brake jobs, I'd get a deal on the minis, and it would still cost me $850, $900 out the door. And that's, you know, cheap aftermarket parts, not dealer stuff. That was even more. So, you know, doing your own brake jobs can really save you some cash. Now, if you've got an old clunker and you can score a deal with the local mechanic or something, you know, maybe he'll do the whole job for $100, that's different. But if you've got a car where you've got the potential to save money, it's a very, very easy thing to do in most cases. Well, the heaters are in the garden center, so I guess I'll come back real early in the morning before the roofer gets here and see if I can't snag something. Yay! They took my garbage this time. Good to go. Ooh, boy, is it nipply out today. Oh my goodness. It's into the 40s. Yeah, gotta find that heater. Alright, it's about 7:30. It's the earliest I could get myself out of bed. I am beat. I am gonna try to take a nap after my last appointment before the live broadcast, because this day is gonna be long. I don't know when the roofer's getting here, but he got here about 9 last time. Excuse me, so gotta go find that heater, gotta get some propane, because I don't have a gas grill or anything, so I don't even have a cylinder. And get back here, and hopefully he's done by the time my last appointment is gone, so I can crash. Because that'll give me a good 3-4 hours of extra sleep, and I need it. Because I'm on like 4.5, 5 hours right now. And that's not good when I have to do a live show for a couple hours real late tonight. Let's go find that heater. Success! A little bit more expensive than I planned because there was a difference between the online price, which they were sold out of, and the in-store price. But got it with the cylinder because I don't have a gas grill. Had to get one of those outright for $188 out the door with tax. So that is still over $100 cheaper than at Home Depot's or Lowe's, and that was for a little tabletop one. These big standing ones were $200 more, so score there. Let's go set it up and test it. It's 44 degrees out. Brr! Well, this is quite a bit sturdier than I was expecting. I thought it would be a fairly basic unit, but it is very solid. Extremely heavy, beefy components, a lot of assembly to do, so let's get to it. Well, happy and not happy. Happy with the overall unit. It is freaking big and nice, but there's a leak in the damn regulator. Where this plastic coupler is meeting the brass, it leaks. I snug it down. As soon as I put it on for the first time, it went psh, and then tss, and I can wiggle the whole regulator assembly and make it hiss. Hear it? Not supposed to do that. So, I'm going to go to Home Depot, see if I can just get a higher quality regulator, because I can just screw this line into another regulator, and that should fix it. Because I am not disassembling this whole thing and taking it back just for that part. That would be a complete pain in the ass. It's been about 45 minutes. So the roofer's not here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and run on over to Home Depot. It's going to be one of those days. They're out of the single tank regulator assemblies. All they had were duals. So I'm going to run down the street, another half an hour to the next Home Depot and back, see if they have it. Alright, well, this Home Depot has the singles, and they're only 17 bucks, so it's not too bad. Here's the dual that the other one only had. Here's the problem. These are a hose and regulator set. So this hose is pressed into here. I don't have the screw-on hose. All I was looking for is the plastic piece and the regulator. But what I think I can do is buy this just for this piece. I should be able to put a big socket on it and unscrew this whole assembly and screw it into my regulator that came with the heater. So I wouldn't be using this regulator or hose because that's one unit. That's the problem. I need to detach it right here. I can't, but I can here. So I think that's my best bet. Anyway, I just heard back from the roofer. He's going to be over in a little while. He's just letting the weather warm up a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. He's got good communication, so I like this guy. Anyway, I'm going to get this and get the heater going. Here's an even better idea. They've got the same assembly in a gauge that's only $12.97. Haha, saving money. Still a hell of a lot cheaper. The ones here are over 200 bucks. I'm going to try to see if they have any here just for comparison. You know, just for shits and giggles, I hooked it up to the tank and then put the regulator to the gauge. No leak. So, that means it's not a fault with this plastic cap. It's a fault with the mating between this tank, which has a little rubber seal inside, and the brass nipple. Somehow, something's different between the female end of this gauge and the female end of this tank, that this works with the gauge, but not the tank. So I'm going to take it back off and take a closer look and try to see what the heck is up. There's got to be something different between the two parts. Well, got her going. What I found was there's just a slight difference in the parts. The way the brass of the regulator that came with it fits into the female end of the tank. The tank has more brass and that gauge part has more rubber, so it's just making a better contact. So that's fine. I'll just leave it like that. It's not like it has to look super pretty. It's not going anywhere. It's still strapped down. Starts real easy. It's got an electric ignition. Oops, I keep turning it off. And it gets real warm. It is nice. I'm going to keep an eye on how close it is to the ceiling here, but it's a metal ceiling, so not really worried about it. It's got triple layers of reflector and insulator here. Put my hand on it. I mean, it's too warm to touch, but it's not discoloring or anything like that. But yeah, nice little setup here. This will go great. I'm going to put Juan here so he gets most of the warmth. But man, it's seriously, I let it go for about 10 minutes here, and either chair, it's perfectly toasty. So very happy. That will work wonderfully, and it'll be nice for me. You know, just out here, I've had many a cold night doing a review. And hey, we can enjoy the porch more. Not bad at all. And I'll tell you what, I do not know what is going on with the plants. They are dying just as fast as the other sets I've had in here. And these are supposed to be like bulletproof. These little guys, they're all turning brown. The little shoots are dying and dropping off. Chloe, stop. I don't get it. I'm barely watering them like they said. Soil's not soaked or anything. And these guys up here, these are supposed to be super hardy. These tips are dying. And some of them are going real soggy and limp and just dying like that. I don't know why. These are normally very stiff, but they're getting soft. I just don't understand. You're not supposed to have to do anything to these things. These guys are doing pretty good. There's been a few dead leaves, but nothing like the other ones. Overall, these are okay. And this one again, half of them are dead. like drying up, just withering. This one's doing a lot better than the other one, but still some dead tips going on. I haven't had any of these go soggy and limp. That's what she said. These guys here are freaking toast. I mean, they're half dead already. And it's like every other day I can visibly see that more and more are gone. So, I don't know. I mean, I've watered them about a cup a week. And I don't know, if anyone out there is an expert, you tell me. I mean, even these guys hanging down here, these are dying. They were real healthy when I bought them. Is it not enough light? I mean, this room doesn't get any light, but they told me that was fine. Especially for these guys and these guys. So maybe these are just really sensitive to it. But my curtains are shut all the time, so there is no direct light in here. So I don't know. Maybe these just can't survive in my living room. Chloe, stop. Well, I am just about done for the day here. Got a crap load of boxes in, no doubt stuff for the lottery and the troops donations. I'm only halfway through opening that stuff up. Lots of great stuff piling up. I'm very thankful that everyone is participating. I'm going to be starting to set up for the live session tonight. And, oh, finally some good news on the roof. The roofer just left. He finally finished. And he says he is very confident that he found the original root of the problem. He says it looks like at some point a branch crashed into the roof about 5 feet above the flat roof on the main house. Now, if that happened, it happened before we had the house because we chopped down the big tree as soon as we moved in that was in the back. And it wasn't even extending that far onto the roof. It was right here, this kind of where the mulch ends in front of the bird feeder. That's where the stump was. So, I mean, it was a big tree, just like the one in the front, just like this one here. But nothing ever crashed into the roof at all since we lived here. And I keep the front trimmed and everything, so, you know, it's always clear. So if something happened, it was before we bought it. If that wasn't whatever caused the problem, he says it might have been that they didn't brace the decking quite right and maybe it was buckled a little bit. But bottom line is he found a big dip underneath the shingles. And he couldn't have seen it until he ripped off the roof. And he filled it in and he put on all new shingles. Let me take you up and show you. So all that basically quarter of the house is new. Well, I'd say maybe a sixth. Not quite to the halfway point, which is like here. But anyway, that's over the master bath, the master bedroom, and part of the guest bathroom anyway. So that's all new. He said he'll do this whole rest of the back half for just $1,100. For some reason, the back half is wearing a lot faster than the front half. This back half is kind of pretty close to being due. Front half has some life left in it, but I'd rather do, you know, the whole thing at once, obviously. So anyway, hopefully that fixes the problem. That would be really nice. He said this is a disaster, that it probably needs to be completely torn down, including the entire room, which means this porch and everything, and that's just, I don't even want to think about doing that. He said another alternative is to build a second roof completely over this, and he said that's very doable. And he says this is probably this with roofing material stuck over it instead of a proper flat roof like all of my other neighbors. And that would not shock me because these panels look the same on the inside as they do out here on the porch. So that is probably what the jackass previous owner did. Just use this outdoor material and then put this roofing material over it. So that's why it's all sagging and everything. But anyway, he says he can build a complete second roof with insulation and, you know, be completely good to go. And he said this would support it evenly without a problem. I see some nails left up here. Anyway, I'll wait till this dries and sets up before I go back up. I already spent a half an hour washing tar off my left foot. Not fun. All right, see you guys tomorrow.